we doing it now? Okay, well, that was my Joker impersonation.
It just scared me.
They're kind of
Oh,
weird.
I have a question, Joan. When the phone rings after 5 on Tuesday night, do you want us to answer it?
Is anybody going to be calling after 5?
Yes, they
We
do.
have. The
Okay.
phone has rung, and
There we
I
go.
don't answer it,
Alright.
but then she runs back here to
Somebody
get it.
called me.
You turn the
and-
microphone on?
Mhm.
Okay. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, if you're on. Hi, Patsy, Penny, Diana, Jennifer,
What do we
Kathy. We got little owls tonight.
With blue glasses.
Yeah, with blue glasses.
We have pigs
Hi,
with blue
Beverly.
glasses, too.
Hi, Kathy. Hi, Mary. Kathy. There's a lot of Kathys. Hi, Patsy, Cheryl, Karen. Hi, Dorothy, Cindy.
Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Darla. Hi, Georgia. Hi, Beth.
Murray, if you're watching, hi.
All right, what's going on at Quilters HQ? Welcome to the show.
Well, we're back and still under COVID restrictions, but we are having classes. We had our first goat club since, March, I think?
I think so.
I
Yeah,
think it was
late.
March.
Yeah, early March, right?
Yeah.
So
It was a good turnout. We had a lot
Yeah.
of people come.
a lot of ladies came in.
2 sessions of that. So we have Long Arm Club next week. I don't have any sign-ups yet, though. So
If you want to sign up for Long Arm Club, plenty
yeah,
of room.
bring a
Come
show
have
and
fun.
tell. So we're still trying to get that one off the ground. We're looking for participants. So it'll be good. I had a long arm for 18, 19 years. So not automated. I had the old-fashioned kind. So
Any idea what they'll be doing?
well, we will do a show and tell, and there's some tools that I have that I think will help you, and we are gonna carry the glide, a new line of thread that long armors are really, really liking it a lot too. No lint, so I
Yeah.
totally get that. So clubs are fun. We're starting probably in August. We're going to start a block of the month for the embroiderers, so that'll be fun. Love Notes, we're gathering up the information for that too. That's a Kimberbell project, mystery quilt that they're doing. So that one I think starts in August as well. So we haven't got that information up on the website yet, but we
Hi,
will.
Lizzie, Libby.
I think that's it. Oh, I wanted to give you some information. First City Quilts in Leavenworth, not Lawrence. Leavenworth is opening back up, and so I told her I would let you know. Their hours are Tuesday, they're doing curbside 10 to 1, Wednesday by appointment, Thursday and Saturday 11 to 3, and they're starting their classes in July. So, yay. All the quilt shops are opening back up.
Yeah.
So,
What do we got for tonight?
well, English paper piecing, the lazy way by machine. So I think it looks fun and cool, but I don't want to do it by hand. So I have a way. Let's get you really close so you can see.
Pigs with glasses.
Pigs with glasses. And we have owls too.
Owls.
So fun stuff. So we have that. We don't really have any show and tells tonight, but
A lot of inspiration.
we have some inspiration. So this is some fabrics that we were in Omaha and stopped at a local quilt
Hi,
store.
Kathy.
And I picked up these, and I've been, because they're just really pretty kind of taupey colors. And so what I'm going to do with them is use this ruler, and I'm going to make Dresdens, little ones. And I'm going to use this AccuQuilt Go die to cut out the background shapes.
What die is that?
This is die number 55438. This is the hexagon, hex, 6 sides. So And I think this has an 8-inch, so the 8 sides on the Dresden, so it won't be like perfectly, but, and it'll fit right down here. So
Be like a flower.
it'll
Yeah,
look like flowers
yeah, that'd be good.
on hexagons. So that was my inspiration for you. That's what I'm going to be working on, you know, along with
Do
all
we
of
have
my
those
other-
in stock?
We don't, but we're placing an order, and I will order some more of these. We do have the
The ruler.
rulers.
How much is the ruler?
The ruler is $23.49,
Hi, TJ.
and this is
Christina.
the Starburst triangle ruler. This is the one that Susan demoed, was it 3 weeks ago? About 3 weeks ago. There's a lot of stuff you can do with that. Dresden's is another one that you can do, so I'll start on it, and maybe by next week I'll have a sample for you. So, and the die is $49.99. I don't know if they're having any specials right now, but if AccuQuilt is having a special, we're having it too. So, okay. So,
Hi, Miranda.
gonna show you, this is kind of a cool thing. Now, I used this product. This is a 2-inch hexagon. I don't know why. I'm on
Hi,
a
Lula.
hexagon kick right now, maybe. 2-inch hexagon. These are $4.99, and these are what I used to make these shapes. Now, I did take the paper out. This is just the fabric. So I put the shape in, and I used the precision piecing pen and made it really stiff. It almost looks like it's been glued, but it's just the starch.
So what's the process of that? You gonna take us through that?
Sure. So, my scraps of fabric are in the back. But so basically, this is the fabric that I used, and so I just laid this over the shape on the back side of it, put a little bit of glue on it, and then cut it out, and then just use the iron to press these. You can glue these and leave this in while you sew as well. I did that with this one. I left the pieces in and then took them out back later. I also used in the middle of this the oh, I can't think of the name of it. It's the heat resistant one.
The hot fix adhesive?
No, not the hot fix adhesive. I have it put up. I'll get it out for you in a minute and show you. It's the heat resistant, so that you can put it in the microwave, or you can set something hot on it and not scorch your table.
Super cool.
So, but I think I might be upset if somebody set something on this, because it's kind of cute.
The little pigs.
With the little pigs. So, to piece these together on the machine, because that's so much better than doing it by hand, let's go over to the sewing machine. And I need all my pieces.
Which machine? Which one are you using tonight?
I am using the Juki DX3000. So this machine has a lot of features. What I really like about this is the control that I have over the settings.
Karen.
So what
Hi,
I'm going to
Sharon.
pick is a blanket stitch, and then I'm going to make my stitch length 3.0 millimeters, and then I'm going to, the smallest blanket stitch that I can make is 1 millimeter, and that's what I'm going to use for this one. And so basically, you're going to sew, anytime you're piecing hexes, you're going to sew from open side to closed side. Right now we don't have any. I just want to make sure that all my owls are facing in towards the center. So I'm going to put this right there. And is there a way you can come closer? Because this is something that you want to see. Now you're going to start with your needle down. and you're going to line up your pieces, and I'm going to use my knee press, and I'm going to set this right up next to the needle. Right there. Yep. Now I've brought my bobbin thread and my top thread up to the top, and you want to give yourself about a 3-inch tail when you do this, and I'll show you why in just a second. So it's going to catch just a couple of the threads. And I'm going to bring my needle up, I'm going to bring my foot up, and I'm going to pull out another long tail. Now what it's doing, I used white thread so that you can kind of see it's actually catching a couple of the threads on the side. So when I open this up, you can't really, even though I'm using white thread, you can barely see the stitches. So I left this tail because you do need to tie these off. Now you could use a quilter's knot. I'm just going to tie in a regular knot on these and then trim. Okay.
It's making a little knot there.
I'm making a little knot, trying to anyway. Apparently I, didn't do that well in kindergarten. And I did. I sewed it wrong. So I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to do this one on this side and take that one out. But I'll show you the way that you piece these. Let me do this one real quick. Again, you're going to start with your needle down. You're going to line up here. And so when it's making the advancing stitches, you're actually not catching the fabric. So the only part that's catching the fabric is the one that zags over for the blanket stitch.
Hi Cheyenne, hi Donna.
Okay, so there we go. I'm going to tie these later. We'll come back to that because you don't want to watch me tie knots, do you?
Yeah.
Not really. So this one, so what I meant by when you sew open to closed, so this side is open and this side is closed. So I'm going to flip this upside down like this.
Yes, Nicole, we are using your next machine purchase, the DX3000.
It is a nice machine. Really smooth.
Hi, Corinne.
Lots of power.
What was the stitch width again?
The stitch
3?
width, the stitch length is 3 millimeters. The stitch width is 1.
Stitch width is 1, Jane.
Oops. Broke my thread. And so that opens up like that. Now to piece these two together, again, you're going to sew the open side to the closed side. You're going to fold these over just like this. Grab my top thread here. Now this is the same as a grandmother's flower garden. Put my needle down so I can put my sewing right up next to it. Oops, I got off just a little bit, so let me just back up. And that's the nice thing, if you miss a stitch, just lift your foot up and just back up. It won't matter.
Hi, Carla.
Normally I would use the thread trimmer, but I want that tail so that we can have that. And see how easy that is to do? And it looks like hand stitching. Now if I'd have used a matching thread here, you wouldn't see those at all, those stitches. This goes together so fast. You can sew it so much faster. It takes you a little bit longer to iron it to get all the pieces pressed, but you can use just a glue stick too and just glue these and leave that that form inside of it and piece one of these together. This method will work for a whole quilt. If you wanted to ever make a grandmother's flower garden, this is the way to go.
Very cool.
Cool. So give us a thumbs up if you like this and you're going to try it. And remember,
Hi, Carrie.
be sure and follow our page and share. We really appreciate that when you do. So,
Where are we off to next tonight?
we can go see what Marilyn's up to, or we can go see what Susan's up to.
We're playing
Tiddlywinks?
Yeah.
That's still a thing.
I don't know. You could probably find them at the Marble Factory in Bonner Springs if they're open. Come on, guys. Come on. Okay, you're almost there.
What has Marilyn got going on back here? And
This is-
Susan?
This is me. I was trying to get some inspiration, not only for myself, but for all of you, and taking Joan's message to heart that you don't have to make the quilt that you see in a pattern or a magazine or whatever. You can do whatever you want and make it your own. So that's what I've done. I found this book, and it is quilts out of fat quarters.
Hi, Pat.
And it's organized very well in that it tells you for each of these patterns how many fat quarters you're going to need to do it. And I wanted to do the simplest one to start out, and it says right there 6 fat quarters. So I picked them out yesterday, and I do like the quilt that they made, and I will show you a full picture of it. Right here. Do I have that right, Chloe? But I didn't want to do that color scheme. So what I did is I made a copy of this, traced it with a pencil so I could see the outline, and I decided I wanted to make it a patriotic quilt. So this is kind of the design plan I came up with. And instead of having 2 different colors in the main boxes, I'm just doing one. And I've made that first block. The middle block in all 4 of these is going to be red.
Oh, cool colors.
So then I decided, okay, because it indicates changing color schemes, 4 different teals or 4 different blues. So I went about picking the blues that I wanted, and these are the ones I came up with. It called for a white dotted fabric. Well, we didn't really have a white dotted the way I wanted it, but we did have this white with these little X's in them, and I thought, okay, well, that's kind of patriotic. So I've kind of semi-laid it out here so you can see. And with the color scheme I'm doing, you're going to see it when it's done, and I'll bring it in. You'll have a red star showing. You'll have a white and blue star showing. You'll have a blue star, and then you'll have an all-white star. So it'll look very different for each one of those. And it's not a real big project either. I cut virtually all of this out last night at home in about an hour and a half, and finished cutting and started sewing on this today down here, which was really nice.
So pretty quick project.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I think it's going to look pretty cute. Hopefully I will finish it over this weekend. I'll have a little extra time if I get my taxes done.
Taxes, yuck.
The other thing I have here is we've been talking about that strip tube ruler. the last couple weeks. And we have a pattern here that specifically says it's compatible with the strip tube ruler. And we have several of these patterns in the shop, and they are $9.99. And I think that's real cute too. And at some point, I'm going to do that one.
That would be pretty.
Yeah.
And I'll probably stick with that color scheme because those are my favorite colors. If it's crayon, it's good.
In batiks?
Ooh,
Yeah,
that'd
that'd
be
look
good.
really
Yeah.
good. Really good. So that's my inspiration for the evening, and I hope that you'll look at your patterns in your magazines or the books and change them up so that they reflect you, not the designer that you're looking at in the book. So that's me for tonight.
Very cool. Where are we off to, Maryland? Where's Maryland?
Oh, I'm way in the back. Come on, guys. Can you make it that far?
Yep,
Got enough cord?
I think so.
Okay.
Making our way through the shop. Little tour.
Over here. Come on. Come on. Whoops. So, it must be strip tube ruler night or something. Susie and I didn't talk to each other, but wouldn't you know?
Did you get some inspiration from it?
Joan gave me the inspiration about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and she had a ruler called the strip tube ruler, and I think we have some on order. Is that right?
We do.
Yeah,
We
because
sold
we were
out
out of them. And so, of course, when
That
I
was quick.
decided I was going to do it, we didn't have any. So I had to find another triangle that would hopefully work for me. And then I had to work from memory what Joan did. And so there are a few mistakes I've made. And what I want to show you is the progress I'm making. It's not done, but it's kind of fun, and it really is pretty fast. So the first thing that I did, I had a jelly roll. And ever since I bought it, Joan kept saying, "Oh, that's going to be a beautiful quilt. That's going to be so wonderful." And she just kept raving and raving. And I'm going, I can't see it, but okay. Because those aren't my favorite colors. But I think it was fun. And I think even my husband had fun because he sat at the table last night. I didn't invite him over. And he started messing with all of the blocks and everything, and he's really quite helpful in that respect. He's
Tell
more
him what you said to him when he first started.
well, he sat down and he just looked quietly and had his hands folded, and he just kept staring at it. And I said, "Are you thinking you're going to help me, move the blocks around?" And he said, "Oh." And I said, "It's my quilt." But he did stay and he did help, and it really does help to have a second set of eyes look at things. So I finished doing some cutting, enough that I could kind of put it together to see what it might look like when it's done. And this is what I've come up with the blocks that I had cut out. And I didn't start until Thursday or Friday last week, and I just worked like a couple hours, and then on Saturday I put in a half day, and then today I worked a little bit on it, and I said, well, maybe I'll take it tonight. Who knows? Maybe they need some airtime filled. So what I took was that jelly roll, which is 2.5 inches wide.
Pam.
And I bought a couple other colors that I then used my AccuQuilt Go Cutter with and did some strips with, because I felt like I didn't get enough of the color combinations and stuff that I wanted out of that jelly roll, and it really wouldn't make a big enough thing. I do placemats, right? So what's with me? I'm all of a
Table
sudden
runners.
talking about, making things bigger. But anyhow, that's what I did. So going by memory, I remember that Joan said, well, you pick out your first, pick out 4, dark light, or some other kind of combination that you think would stand out nice, and, that you could see well in this kind of block.
Good contrast.
So I went ahead and I started sewing the strips together. I just picked them out just kind of randomly. And so this is what it looks like after you do that. And then we discussed a little bit about the what way to iron the seams. And And we also discussed about what direction you should sew. Well, as I was going along, that kind of went out the window. So, you know, I will accept anything that you do.
How should they sew when they're doing strips?
When they're doing strips, you sew one direction, and then the next strip you sew back the other way. So it comes out more even and doesn't tend to be off. And what I did was I made the mistake of taking one of my marking pencils and put an arrow down so that I would know, okay, this strip I started up here and I sewed that direction. And then the next strip I put the other arrow that said, okay, now you can go this way. And then I ironed it all and my arrows went away. So as I ironed, they went away. So I had to rely on my memory, which is not very good. And so it is what it is. Okay. So what I did then was sew this together in a tube. So you would sew it this way. And sew it all the way down, and then, you know, kind of watch that it's straight. And I do not sew straight, and I do not like safety pins because I always stick myself with them. Safety tip of the night: use glue, not pins. Okay, that works good. So we have the greatest thing made by Acorn that you just put a little drop, you know, along the way, and then you can take your time in lining it up. And then you put the iron on it to kind of press it down. And the really cool thing about it is if you don't get it quite straight that time, you can mess with it a little bit. And you can, you know, push it where you want it to go. And then you can set the iron on it again, and that glue will re-stick. And then when you're ready to pull it apart, it just snaps right apart. But it keeps it in place while you sew. And that's just the coolest thing I think I've ever seen. And so far, I've used almost a whole bottle of that glue.
We have more.
Yeah, I know. And I also use the Acorn Precision Press.
Yes.
That's what it's called. And it's a really nice, it's like a best press, only better. And you just put it in a mister and put it on there. And I put several coats of that because to me, the stiffer it is, the less likely I'll iron a wrinkle in it or something like that, you know, or sew a
Doesn't it
wrinkle.
help you when you start cutting?
It does. It
On
helps.
the
Because
bias.
you've got a lot of bias.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it helps with that. So I made my tubes and I made them inside out. And I could swear that Joan, she took her little ruler and put it down on that tube. And I swear it was right side out. So I turned all my tubes, and that's hard to do, to reach down in there and pull them and turn them and stuff. But I did it. I persevered. And then I brought it in today, and Joan said, "Why did you turn it inside out?"
I didn't know that part.
Yeah,
Okay,
she just told me
there's
that
another
tonight.
good tip.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't turn the tubes inside out too early.
Right.
Okay,
Yep.
but I've done it, and so it is what it is. Once again, so
It still works.
yeah. So you put your ruler down, and I think my ruler's in my other box. So
Down here.
Yeah, down here. Just a minute.
Yeah, Beverly, we do have that glue in stock, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So if you want the glue, it's
I'll get it.
we'll get you a cost, and you just say make it mine. Make sure you went to Make It So and registered, so we can send you a PayPal invoice or what have you.
Okay, so I think Joan's gone to get the glue. So
So
I
hold the ruler
happened to
up.
have an angled ruler, and it was the 30 degrees, and it fit on this particular piece. Now, it would make a difference how wide your pieces are that you're sewing together. But I marked the line that I wanted to lay it on my tube here. So I marked it so I'd get them all the same. And I put it right at the top of the tape there, and it takes you right up to the top of the quilt or of the piece so that when you cut it, you end up with your point in the right place, and they're all the same size. So the first one you cut is this way. The next one you cut, you take your tube, you turn it upside down, and you lay it along the line that you cut on the first triangle, and you line up the bottom again, and you cut another one. Out of one of these strips, I can get 5 to 6 pieces.
So there was a
Bicuspid
viewer
triangles.
comment, they wanted to know, did you press the fabric first?
I pressed the heck out of the fabric all the time. All through the process I did.
Hi Virginia, hi Carla,
I have a quick
hi
question.
Kathy.
When it's at that stage where you're sewing your 4 strips together,
Mm-hmm.
did you press the seams at that point? And
Well-
did you press them open?
No, I did. I
No.
pressed them one way.
So I'm working on this for
Mm-hmm.
a similar quilt. This is the leftovers from the diamonds quilt that we did a few weeks
yeah.
ago.
Pretty material.
So if you recognize these were 2 1/4 inches. So yeah, I pressed these seams
Mm-hmm.
and I just pressed them all in one direction, and I didn't really.
What about the center
This one is left just like that,
Okay.
and then you sew this one together, and then you just cut them like this.
Okay. And the reason that's good is because you can see what your sew line is here, and you know that you're going to get your ruler right close to that line. The other thing that Joan had told me that I found to be very useful was on my ruler there's a dash line across there, the line that I'm using. And that line should be, you want to make sure that the line is at the very bottom of your tube on both sides, because sometimes you might wiggle a little while you're sewing these together and it may not be exactly on the bottom of that line in here somewhere. But if you get the 2 ends together, you're closer together, you're closer to being perfect. I'm never perfect, but and I'm still not perfect all the time, but you're closer to that point. So that's another good tip. So that was the other thing that I did.
Hi Elaine, welcome.
So I had ended up with a bunch of squares.
If you're just joining us, we're talking about the strip tube ruler, and Marilyn's making a quilt with it and kind of explaining the process.
So I like to do puzzles, put puzzles together. And this part of the whole quilting process is the most enjoyable part for me, is to finally take the pieces and figure out how I'm going to lay them out and what the colors are going to look like. I don't think this is the way it's going to end up, but what I was trying to do was make a center block that was solid, red or the off-white, and when I ran out of material I had to kind of blend them a little. That one didn't work right.
Hi
But
Kathy.
I'm going to be cutting more blocks, and then I can change these. So I wanted to show you on this block how much it changes the look of the block when you just change the colors around a little bit. So if I just move that corner to the middle, it makes a beautiful red square here, a solid block in the middle, and it starts making the next blocks. You can use that. It makes another pattern out of that. So that's where this pattern comes from. So there's the half center block that you end up with
Hi
after you
Polly.
put these together. And it just keeps moving along in that direction. So it's really challenging and kind of fun to figure out how to put all the things together. So that's kind of where it stands right now. I'm still making some strips, and I hope that that will help me make it, well, it'll make it a little larger, but it'll help me maybe add some interest some other way that I lay it out on a table.
Kind of the beauty of quilting, right? You get
Yeah.
to play and with
Yeah.
the puzzle pieces and kind of put them
Exactly.
together, and they always look different.
And what appeals to me
Yeah.
probably
Colors.
won't appeal to the next person.
Shapes, yeah. So
Yeah, but that's really the cool part. So
it's really pretty. I mean, the colors came out really, really nice.
that's what I had, and this is the glue,
And how much is the glue?
and the glue is
$7.99.
$7.99.
So if you want the glue, it's $7.99.
It's
Make
Make It Mine Acorn Glue.
Yep.
Okay.
So,
And the
great product.
Oh yeah.
The spray press stuff we've shown you several times before, I think. So
Yes.
we have bottles of that, and you just put it in a mister bottle, and you don't spray like you do in starch bottles or anything. It comes out in a mist. So we've shown
Nina.
that on the show too. But anyway, that's what I brought in today. And if you're interested in the strip tube ruler, which has the instructions, you might want to say, make it mine, the strip tube ruler. And I don't know if,
I think it was 29 for the
Yeah.
strip tube
Yep,
ruler.
I think that's
Okay.
right. Yep.
and get your name on one when it comes in that
Yeah.
way.
You can
And-
order it now and we'll deliver it to you when it comes in.
Why don't I get that strip tube ruler pattern?
Yeah.
Okay.
Say
Well,
that
maybe
5
that's not
times
it.
fast.
No.
Tube ruler
Okay.
pattern.
Yeah. Okay.
So
So,
I was-
yeah, when you're cutting, please don't cut toward yourself. You might cut your finger off or something. So that would be my safety tip. Just, and even though I do bleed red, I don't think it would look particularly nice on that quilt.
That's like the first rule of quilting. Don't bleed on the
Well,
quilt.
so,
Hi,
unless it
Gemma.
matches the color.
well, there's this pattern, and then with the strip tube ruler, you also get a pattern like the one that I've laid out here.
Yeah.
So, and that comes with the ruler. So that's a big help. So this one is the Cozy Quilt Design. Let me see, Lotus Blossom
Do we have the ruler?
pattern.
The ruler is out of stock. We sold out of it last time.
Do we have
showed it.
one to show what it looks like?
This is it.
No,
Oh.
it isn't it.
No, that's not
Oh,
it.
that's not it.
I had to make do with what I could
I
find.
think Karen may have bought the last one
Wow.
last week.
Yeah, I
Wow.
think so.
So that's why I say order it.
Mhm.
Order it now, and
We'll find a picture and post it up there and show you what it looks like.
but this is the Lotus Blossom
Yes, Nina, I'm going to deliver it personally.
Blossom pattern. Say make it mine, Lotus Blossom. It's $9.99.
Yep.
And that's what you use the ruler with.
Yeah.
Yep.
It looks like you're having fun.
Robert will look like the post office guy.
Yeah,
Yep.
you will.
So we
Okay,
got to choose
so
between the brown shorts or the blue ones.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Joan has another version of the same
Yes.
thing, and hers is really pretty too. I like those colors in
Yeah.
hers.
So this is, like I said before, and I have a long ways to go. I don't know why I cut out so many strips. I just did. I was happily, cutting
Slicing and
along
dicing.
with AccuQuilt, and look at all the strips I've made. I've already paired them up in the order that I want them to be. Actually, that would probably be more like this. So, wow.
You lost something.
We lost something.
We'll
It's
find
live.
it.
Anything can happen. So, so I have all of these, and I'm still sewing strips together. There's a lot of strips. So this is going to be either 2 quilts or one very, very big quilt, which happens to me. I try to make small quilts, but they just...
I think they're taking a poll whether I should be wearing blue shorts or brown shorts.
I go with blue.
It looks good in blue. Today he's wearing red, though. So, who's wearing red? Nobody. We don't have a delivery.
We're making our own.
You're
Quilters
making...
HQ delivery service, wear red
So-
shorts.
And so, just by, like Marilyn was saying, by changing, these are from the same strips. And look how different these 2 blocks are.
Yeah.
And so you can
Amazing.
kind of see, if I line this up right,
$29.99 is the ruler, I think.
so if I line it up right, you can see that this block and this block are the same one. So you can see that it's from the same one, but they look drastically different.
They
so, with 2 1/4 inch strips, you get 2 blocks and a half block. So I'm gonna have a scrappy quilt too with these colors, but these are some of the combinations
Show your
that
blocks.
I've put together
Yeah.
so far.
What do you think?
I think it looks kind of Christmassy right now,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does.
but I
It's
think
not too late to start sewing for that. It's already July.
it's Christmas in July. It's
I
coming
know.
up right around the corner.
I know.
But I've got these other colors that will take some of that Christmassy look out of it. So when these get mixed in with it, then I think it won't quite. It'll look more reproduction than holiday. Who knows? I won't know until it's finished anyway. So, that's the beauty of these types of projects and these types of tools. You can just be creative. You don't have to have an end result in mind. You can just start sewing. And when you put it all together, you can come up with something fantastic. And if you don't like it, well, there's always gifting.
There's always a charity quilt
There's always
somewhere,
The
right?
dog would love it.
Somebody needs a
Oh.
blanket.
No, they count as like not quilt worthy. If you give a quilt and you see it under the dog,
I have a
Well,
question.
Kathy's been using the ruler. She likes the no waste of the ruler, so
Yeah, I
that's
do
cool
too. Yep.
So,
I have a question.
Okay.
And I posed this to Marilyn when she was working on it last weekend. When you're trying to put your strips together, like you've got these 4 colors, if you wanted to try and have more control on where that part of a strip is going to land, how would you go about doing that? Or is it just impossible because of the nature of the beast?
No, I think it's entirely possible. So, it just depends. So, like, if it ends up in both places, really. So, if I want this, where's the one that I found that's both of them? So, this was pieced. So, when I opened this up, so this strip had this red, brown, tan, and then a lighter red. So when I pieced it, I could have moved this all the way to the outside and it would have looked more like this one with the white on the outside of it. So I don't know that unless you use a software like Electric Quilt, that you can really kind of control it. And so when you start putting these pieces together, so these are ones that I've already cut, right? So let's move these out of the way. So these are my 2 segments for this one. Those go with that one, those go with this one. And so when you start putting these together, you could build a block like similar to what Marilyn's doing with a solid center.
oh, that looks really cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Or, and out of the same strip, depending on which way you rotate the block, you'll get 2 very different looking blocks with that layout. So if you're like Marilyn and you like puzzles, you can really have a lot of fun with this. Putting them on point too would be another option. So same block, if you just rotate, completely different look.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
So-
a lot of options just with that one cut out of, or the 2 different cuts out of the same ruler,
Right.
the same strip of material. And sewing that strip together is, very relaxing, especially if you use glue and you're not going to get stuck with a pin. So,
And
Yeah,
so
with that too.
with mine, I'm alternating the blocks.
Yeah.
So I just pulled 2 over from this one and just alternating. But even when you're doing that, you get 2 very different blocks from the same strip of fabric.
and that's what I did here. I did the solid block, and then the next one was supposed to be alternating, but I didn't have enough of the various colors to do it, so I
Yeah.
kind of went away from that.
And when you started the first one,
Mhm.
you did it with the strip tube ruler,
Mhm.
and it was what, a 2 or 2
2
1/4
inch.
cut.
2-inch cut, and then you get 3 whole blocks out of this.
Marilyn chose to do it with a jelly roll,
Mhm.
and I have a jelly roll. And the problem that I know she ran into and I ran into is you don't have the same number of the same colors in there, so it hits a point where it gets kind of weird.
Yeah.
So I bought another jelly roll to match the first one.
Oh, okay, there you go.
I bought the last jelly roll of this.
Solved.
So I had to go buy some other material and then cut the strips, but it didn't blend as well.
That is going to be a beautiful quilt.
So we had a viewer question for you guys, and that's, so does it depend on when you cut? What color is the point?
It depends on, I had to think about that for a minute. So it depends on the strip. So how you're piecing the strips. So with this one, so if I sewed this together with the blues just like this, I'm either going to have a black point and a green point, or I could rotate this and sew these two together, and then I'm going to have a blue one and a white one. So
the outside ones will be the point.
right. So they'll
Okay.
be like this.
Now I know what to do.
So, but it's really something, this deserves to just play around with it. There's so many combinations. I know we have tons of fabrics in our stash that maybe we're tired of looking at. I have some of those fabrics. And so fabrics like that, and Marilyn has rooms full.
No, she doesn't.
I have rooms full.
And you do.
Susan
All right,
has
everyone
it.
raid Susan's stash.
Yep.
Susan has a big stash.
I go to
She
her
makes
house
good
all the time.
margaritas.
And yeah, Robert makes really good. I call them Robberitas. Somebody asked him once, "Is there anything
In blue shorts.
And is there anything besides alcohol in this?" And he said, "Well, there's ice." So it kind of counts. So, you know, you can kind of audition what they're going to look like just by putting them together, and then you'll see. So see how that goes together. So that gives you kind of what the centerpiece is going to look like right there. And so when I piece these blocks together, not that one.
Yeah,
Let's do this.
I don't like the randomness of this.
So I like the randomness.
You do. Of
I
this?
do. I like it random. And so I'm going to try to not have stuff like this. I mean, I could
Yeah.
go ahead and put another, if I can find another one. Maybe not. Here we go. There we go. I could try to put another one there and have another square here in the middle. But I kind of like the hourglass that this
Yeah.
does.
I do too, but then I ran out of options.
We'll let
as
you know
far
on
as
that, Carla.
Hourglasses or solids, I had to slip something else in. But I just went with dark light, and since I only had 2 major color groups that I was working with, that was easier on my little mind to deal with at this
Well, and
moment
maybe you
rather
start
than-
one and you start,
Yeah.
you know, the way
So
you did.
The next time I
Mhm.
do it, I'll do it with more of a mixture and probably not bring it in.
Well, I can tell you this. So I don't make the same quilt twice. That's like, I don't know, fingernails on a chalkboard, pulling teeth. That's torture for me. But this one, I can do several of this and be fine. And, you know, because they're going to come out looking completely different. So, say with the pineapple quilt is a pineapple quilt. You can change the fabrics, but it's still going to look the same. But with this, you can have so many different layouts and have drastically different looking quilts with the same tool. That's
You can lay it so you're looking at
Yeah.
stripes then that go diagonally.
you could.
And
So
I think that jelly roll quilt that I tried, a year ago, whatever it was, and I did
Mhm.
that from
Last
a
week.
jelly roll.
Last week.
And I started having problems with it, and I finally ended up just laying it out in diagonal lines so that as near as I could get, I'd have the dark colors and then the light colors, but they were mixed.
I like that.
And
With the dark in it.
I do too.
That looks
So,
nice.
I mean, that's
that's what I did.
Mhm.
So it's the mix and
Kind
match
of a-
ruler.
Mhm.
it truly is. There's whoops, wrong way. So you could do something like this.
I like that. Mhm.
I like the dark colors.
You know, very different, and still kind of fun and cool, and you know,
Just play around with them.
yeah, just rearrange them. I mean, you don't have to have it looking stripy, kind of like that. So you can have them all going in the same direction where it looks more like flying geese.
Yeah, that looks nice. The problem I had was the colors that I was working with in that jelly roll. They were all, they mushed together. They weren't. There was nothing
Disappeared
that
in
really.
color.
Yeah, they didn't lay out right. So.
So that could be another layout. So like I said, I get 2 whole blocks from this, and I have 2 from each strip. I have 2 of these left over. So maybe this is another layout that I'll do with the extra pieces.
Okay.
You never know.
Do we have a giveaway tonight?
We do have a giveaway,
Oh,
and I have one more thing to tell you about that's going to be coming up soon.
okay.
Woodland Wonderland. Did I say that right? Is it Woodland? I think
Yep.
it is. So this is a new one. This is from Fig Tree and Company. Cute, cute, cute quilt. And so it's got this little book, and it's got, let me try to open it up. It's got your fabrics in it. This is another fat quarter quilt. Where can I get to the box? Okay, here we go. And so it's super easy to piece, and it's got an owl and a hedgehog and a gnome and some mushrooms. And so that's with this fat quarter bundle. And so we're just waiting on the background fabrics and the border. So there's some tan fabric and some background, some charcoal color. And as soon as we get that, we'll have this as a kit available for you. So
these kits will be available for sale.
they
Okay.
will be available for sale probably, you know, as soon as these dark colors like this are some of the ones that really sold out fast because people were making masks. So,
All right.
but don't wait on this one because this will go quick.
Hmm.
Okay, our giveaway is quilt hangers. These are magnets, and so you use you would use a little metal rod or something
To hang.
to hang it, and so then you don't have to use clips or, you know, tacks or anything like that. You can just put a magnet up there, and these are sturdy magnets. They will hold your heavy quilt against a wall.
Yeah.
So great for
The Woodland.
holiday quilts that are coming up. So I like to use
So
quilts.
how
for
does the
decoration.
giveaway work?
So you have to comment.
Okay.
And so hopefully that you were giving us comments and feedback so that we can make the show better. So, and Chloe, who was our winner?
Elaine Lemaster.
Elaine Lemaster.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Elaine. So what you need to do now, if you have claimed anything, if you said make it mine to the glue or anything like that, or you won the prize, you need to go to our website, quiltershq.com or qhq2.com or Windmill Sewing Center, and register for Make It So that we have your address and information. We will send you an invoice unless you won the prize, and we'll send you the prize. We'll send you an invoice that you can click on and pay with PayPal or credit card, whichever makes you feel comfortable, and then we will ship your product to you. If you've already registered, you don't need to do it again. If you're a customer of the store, we already have your information. No need to do it again. So
Awesome.
thank you for joining us tonight. I hope you found tonight's show oh, Marilyn has one more thing.
Oh.
Of course. Tea towels. I think we've shown these before, but we're coming up on the holidays. Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter,
Halloween.
Halloween.
Halloween tea towels.
But for you ladies who like to embroider, these are great. And they're really big towels too, which I like. They're $4.50 each. And we'll give them to you for $16.99. So if you want the tea towels, oh yeah, I forgot, Susie's telling me. They have the little strap across the corner to hang it on a hook,
Oh, nice.
or on your handle on your stove. You can put the cattywampus corner through there. That'll hold on your handle.
I didn't know
And
that
it's real
did that.
handy. Pardon me?
Learn something new every day.
Of course you do. Stick with me, buddy. So those are really a great deal, and they're nice. Like I said, they're a nice big size, and if you like to embroider, that's the perfect thing to do it on. So let us know if you want them. Thank you.
All right. So do we have anything else tonight, or do we do a send-off?
That's it for us.
So what did we say?
Make
it so.
Have a great night, everyone.
Bye.
Good night. See you next week.